What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today it's all about this. The Xiaomi Pad 6, a free gift when you purchase the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and this has turned into quite a little gem. Let's go! Now, the first thing to talk about with this tablet has to be the build quality. Yes, for the price, and we'll get to that in a few minutes, this is an all aluminium frame and back with a Gorilla Glass front. What more could you ask for? Keeping in mind that its competition is the regular iPad 10.9 inch, I believe it is nowadays. This 11-inch tablet, I'm going to say straight off the bat, is far superior to the iPad. And now let's get into more of the specs and my experience and tell you why. The display. 144Hz LCD, 1 billion colours, HDR10+, Dolby Vision panel. It has blown me away that they can incorporate such a flagship screen in such a small price. And I said I'd talk about price, so I may as well tell you now. This tablet comes in two variants. 128GB of storage with 6GB of RAM, or 256GB of storage with 8GB of RAM. And on the Xiaomi website, you can get the 128GB version for £299 when you make sure you apply the coupon code that is already at the pay page. And for the larger 256 version, it's £379. Right in line with, if not cheaper than its competition, the iPad. Now, sticking with hardware, let's talk about the speakers. To consume that HDR10+ content and Dolby Vision mastery, you need some good speakers. And I have found myself consistently being blown away by the depth, the loudness, the lack of just sheer cheap tinniness that you often get in Android tablets specifically. The one thing iPads do very well, even the base model, is get really good sound from their dual speakers. Or if you go for the Pro, they're quad speakers. Well, the Pad 6 is quad. It's quad stereo speakers, and here's what they sound like. Like all sound tests on a YouTube video, it's very hard to convey how good they sound, but hopefully that gave you an idea that they do get loud, they keep good bass within this frame as well. Again, super impressed, particularly at the price point. Now, as we move into the internals of the device, this is an Android 13 out the box device. However, the Android 14 update is coming. It's also got MIUI 14, so this hasn't got the new HyperOS skin, but a lot of people prefer MIUI. It's running a Snapdragon 870 chip inside, so no, not the most flagship chip, but the 870 will handle any task you want to do, particularly on this device, where I imagine you're not a professional editor looking to use Resolve or Final Cut Pro or anything like that. So you can game away to your heart's content on this device, safe in the knowledge that you will not have any dropped frames. And because internally there's a decent battery in here, coming in at 8 to 840 milliamp hours, you can also be sure that you're going to game non-stop for about 10 hours. And then when your battery does die, you can charge it at 33 watts wired with the included charger. Well done, Xiaomi. Now, as far as connectivity, this is a Wi-Fi only device. There's no SIM card slot. You can't use cellular. So if that's a deal breaker for you, this isn't the tablet for you. Now, before I talk about the cameras, I do also want to mention that this does have stylus support. Unfortunately, and I get it with the price, but I maybe would have paid an extra £30 if they included the stylus, but they don't. There's no stylus included, so you're going to have to buy the stylus and any folio case or protective case separately. There's nothing else included inside the package. And I'm going to talk about the cameras, but I also will finish up this video by talking about my use cases and my family's use cases for the Pad 6. Camera-wise, it's a single rear camera. I have an iPad Pro, a Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, and I can confidently say I have never used the cameras for photography or videography, real photography or videography, ever. I've used them to test for videos, but do you use the cameras on your tablet? Are you that person that walks around as a tourist or whatever you're doing, taking photos from your tablet? The one thing I will say is, here's a few examples of photos. It's Xiaomi, so they're not bad photos at all. I just don't use my tablet for that. The one thing we probably all do use our tablet for, though, is front-facing video for conference calls. And while the rear single lens is 4K at 30 frames per second, unfortunately, and this isn't uncommon in tablets, the front-facing lens is only 1080p at 30 frames per second. And the microphones don't sound great, if I'm being honest. And here it is, the front-facing selfie camera with 1080p video. Yeah, fine for video calls, which is what you use your tablet for. But yeah, I mean, look at that exposure with sunlight behind. And the microphone's pretty poor. So at no point is the Xiaomi Pad 6 breaking any records or shattering the iPad's hopes of world dominance. It's not. But if you're an Android tablet fan on a budget, or if you're looking, and this is my personal use case scenario, if you're looking for a backup / replacement iPad for your maybe young to teenage child, Xiaomi Pad 6 is the one. For under £300 to get all this kit and that fantastic screen and speakers and connectivity, I would say that the Pad 6 is for you. And it is super durable. Again, I've mentioned my iPad Pro is now 4 years old. Not a dent on it. And it has been dropped many times. Same with the Tab S8 Ultra. And because this is the same build quality as my iPad Pro, with it being all aluminum, and it's got Gorilla Glass on the front, I know this is going to last and last. And if you find yourself in a pinch and your own tablet has run out of charge and you forgot to charge it, if you've got this as a backup, you're good. So that was my experience with the Xiaomi Pad 6. Something a bit different on the channel. I know we typically do a lot of phone stuff here, but I felt this Pad 6 deserved its own little review from me. If you're interested in purchasing the Xiaomi Pad 6, I've mentioned that Xiaomi have it on their website. I will also say that I have a lot of tablets, and this one in particular is absolutely up for going to a good home for half price. £150, first come, first serve, and you can have my Xiaomi Pad 6. I'll be back soon, I promise, with a Vivo X Fold 3 video. This might teach me never to use Giz Stop again. Nothing against them per se, but it's taking forever. Anyway, until next time.